A while ago, a long time ago, I think I wrote a blog post, this is probably like 10 years ago, about why we shouldn't shrug. Oh my God, we shrug all day. Why would we want to shrug? Blah, blah, blah. I gotta say, I was wrong. The more I've thought about it, the more I've learned. I've evolved as a practitioner. I've seen the value in adding a shrug. And you might be saying, well, Mike, I thought you were right. You know, I agree with all that stuff that you're saying. Like, we're up here, we're typing, we're on our phones, we're watching TV, we're in our cars, we're shrugging all the time. The thing about that is a lot of times it's a low grade, almost passive position. Maybe your elbows are propped up, and it's the equivalent of keeping our hips tight all day, or our hips shortened all day as we're sitting in the chairs. Our hip flexors will have this adaptive shortening. They have an elastic quality, so they're going to shorten up as we keep them in that shortened position. The same thing goes, it's going to be like scalenes, upper traps, levator, scapula, all this tissue, all this good stuff in the back and the side of our neck that we're passively keeping short, just like we passively keep our hip flexors short. And so if we combat that with getting them stronger and then stretching them, why wouldn't we do the same for other parts of our body? And so I've been thinking about this a lot. I've been, holding my daughter in my arm a lot, shrugging and saying, okay, like, is this good? Is this bad? How do I feel? And, I don't really feel any different doing that, and I'm shrugging all day. I'm shrugging more than I ever have. And so what I've started to have my patients do, who have some neck pain, who have some tightness and adaptive shortening in their neck, I've had them start to do some loaded shrugging. And they kind of say, oh my God, what do you have me do? I do this all day. This is why I'm here. I don't necessarily think that this is going to help me. I said, trust me. Let's see this one out. And what happens is, as we use those muscles, we're telling them when to shorten. So we're giving them the signal that, okay, you need to shorten, instead of passively being in that position. And so they're getting some neurological input. But then they're also being told to relax once they've done their shortening during the eccentric phase. So they're actually learning to shut those muscles off. Instead of always having this low-grade tone in those muscles, they're getting an on signal and an off signal. And I've actually started seeing some great results with this. People are coming in with better posture. They're getting able to get into better positions, able to put their arms over their head a little bit easier, able to move their shoulder blades a little bit more freely because they're not so locked up. And so I've started people off, with whatever weight they're comfortable, even if it's really low, but just to turn on and turn off those muscles. We've used rubber bands, we've used kettlebells, we've used dumbbells. I've had people taking milk jugs and doing this to help reduce the amount of tension and tone that's in their neck. But the thing that you want to do after this is you want to stretch out those muscles. So we put all this emphasis on use, and then stretch once you have this refractory period where those muscles are as relaxed as they're going to be. So very simply, people go through their shrugs, and then I'm just going to have them do a series of stretches. One is going to be looking up and away, so they stretch out their scalenes. Where I'm looking up. When I look up and back, I'm going to be stretching out scalenes and my sternocleidomastoids. When we pull over directly to the side, because of the orientation of the fibers of our upper trap, we're going to get our upper traps. And then if I turn my head towards my armpit of my pulling arm, I'm going to get my levator scapula, or the guy that's actually most likely keeping us in a shrug. And that looks like this. And I'll have people do a set of shrugs 1 hour, follow that with one of those stretches. In the next hour, they'll do the same thing, another set of shrugs, and then they'll do one of the other stretches. And they'll kind of just cycle through that in their day. And like I said, people have been saying that this is helping them more than almost anything I have them doing for their neck, more than the manual therapy that we're doing, more than the foam rolling. And so I think it holds value, and I want to just say, I was wrong about shrugging. I do think shrugging is showing to be very beneficial. Just like, you apply the right exercise in the right circumstance, and you're going to get positive things. So this was a 3-minute clinic all about shrugging think it ended up being a little bit more like a 5-minute clinic. But if you have any questions, please hit me up at kineticpotentialpt@gmail.com, or you can just shoot me a message in my direct messages. I would be happy to talk about this with you a little bit more. So thanks for following, and I'll see you next time.